$13,867 was going to cost me to insure my end up for this upcoming year.
You said it was how much? 201,000 for the year.
Did you know that some commercial insurance brokers out there will actually add an extra $2,000 to $3,000 onto your policy just so they can make a bigger commission?
I carry $1 million coverage on my policy, and I pay around $1,300 a month to insure a semi-truck and cargo vans. I've never paid over $2,000 for multiple vehicles.
Insurance costs in the trucking industry are skyrocketing, and it's hitting drivers hard. In this video, real truckers share their stories, revealing how much they're paying and the impact it's having on their bottom line. From new drivers to owner-operators, these expenses are shaping the future of trucking. Tune in to hear the real numbers and how truckers are coping.
One of the biggest expenses in trucking is insurance. That's just an expense that you're not gonna be able to get around.
When you do get truck insurance, you need to get commercial general liability insurance, number one. That's the first one to get. Number two, you need to have automobile liability insurance, which is the next one that is important to have. And lastly, you need to have cargo insurance for your truck.
To get truck insurance, you'll work with an agent who will send your information out to insurance companies. You'll start getting quotes back, and your rates will be determined by your age, years of experience, and driving record. Also, because you're starting a new venture, your insurance premiums will typically be high for the first year. If your insurance quote comes back too high, your other option would be to lease on to another trucking company.
Insurance! Your very first year, nobody else is going to take it but Progressive. Simple as that.
You said it was how much?
201,000.
201,000 for the year.
Yes, $20,128.20
Per month.
is your monthly payment.
I mean, like right now, we're paying like what, 4,000 a month for 24 trucks?
65,000 a year.
You were paying 65,000. It's jumped up to 210,000. That's almost like 3 times the increase. Do you know why it's so high?
I'm pretty sure it's within the same rate revision. By the way, when I'm talking about rate revision, I'm talking about us having to raise the rates within the state. Okay, just to be clear.
The rate revision is something that the state just raised the rates on?
No. It's something that we Progressive have to raise the rates on.
I don't know what's up Progressive and why they increasing the rates like this, but this will be my last year with them.
$3,000 to $4,000 a month. That's crazy. I used to pay that when I got started, but instead of going with places like Progressive, because that's who gave me that rate, I found places like commercial insurance brokers. Commercial insurance brokers help you find the best rate possible. I have a couple in my book, but those are the people to work with if you want lower insurance, like this.
And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, insurance is $2,400 a month for new endeavors, because of shit like this.
If you're thinking about getting your own authority, make sure you get an insurance quote first. You don't want to go through the hassle of getting everything else set up just to run into a stumbling block with insurance.
Our topic today is rates and the trends that truckers are perceiving in regard to those rates. Lisa, let's start with this. What are we actually hearing from truckers on this topic?
We get calls all the time about rates and why. Always they want to know why they're going up. Multiple reasons. You know, it could be some that are specific to their policy. It could just be industry-wide, factors. Number one reason, claims. If you have a claim, you're most of the time going to see an increase.
Well, you mentioned claims. I mean, is it strictly on an individual basis, or does that affect things more broadly? I mean, if there are a lot of claims industry-wide, does that have an effect?
It does, yeah. I mean, because if you live in a place that's prone to flooding, hurricanes, something like that, you could see a rate increase, not because you've had a claim, but because your county, your state just sees a lot of catastrophe, a lot of losses, and so they'll raise rates in general.
Crank that deductible all the way up as high as it can go. I see a lot of people, they'll think that, you know, it's a good idea to have a $1,000 deductible or something like that. Look, if you get into an accident with your truck, the last thing you're going to be worried about is $1,000, okay? You get in an accident, cause $500,000 worth of damage, or maybe $200,000 worth of property damage and injure someone. You got to, you know, pay $200,000 more in medical bills. $1,000, again, least of your worry. Crank that deductible all the way up, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. Shit, if they'll do $10,000, do that. What you're going to do is end up saving on your annual trucking insurance costs.
Had an incident like that in North Carolina when I was a DOT officer. The man behind the wheel had a heart attack, drove straight into the pillars holding up the bridge. Good fucking God. Well, one thing about it, he was doing what he loved to do. Yeah, the hearse is there waiting on him.
Cargo insurance. Do you have a combined single deductible? And what that means is if you don't have it combined as a single deductible, let's say you have cargo insurance on the physical damage and the cargo insurance for the cargo load. Let's say you slam on the brakes, that load goes through the front of your trailer, but your insurance agent charges you two deductibles, one for the physical damage and one for the cargo claim. That shouldn't happen. Get them under a single deductible.
If a heavy load is not secured properly, one abrupt move can launch it forward, crushing the cab and in some cases, killing the driver.
I need y'all to do me a favor. When y'all doing y'all due diligence and you're trying to choose a carrier for your insurance, make sure that the companies that you're going to be hauling for is going to accept that insurance, right? Just because they give you that $1 million policy and that $100,000 for the cargo does not mean that all shippers and all brokers accept that carrier. You understand me? There are some companies that have a bad reputation for not actually paying their claims, and they've been blacklisted. So it's important that you don't get caught up in a contract with an insurance company that's going to stop your money, all right?
Companies like Progressive and Geico, you always want to keep in your back pocket. They can be high. You could have an awful time with customer service or whatever. Most of the time, I have a pretty good relationship with them, and so do my carriers. But you always want to keep them in good standing because they definitely insure a wide array of risks. If you ever find yourself in a pickle and you can't find insurance, majority of the time you could usually find insurance with Progressive or Geico. Like those are the two ones you always want to keep just at arm's length distance. Don't ever sabotage those relationships.